Welcome back to the channel, Rare Coins Collections, where we uncover some of the most fascinating and valuable coins in history. Today, we're diving into a coin that might be sitting right in your pocket, waiting to make you a small fortune. It's the United States of America 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1966. At first glance, it might seem like a simple penny, but as we dig deeper, you'll see just how much it could be worth, especially if you know what to look for. The 1966 Lincoln penny, a coin that has become a sought-after item for collectors over the years, carries much more than just its face value. Today, we're going to explore the key features that make this coin stand out, the errors that can increase its value, how to spot a rare version of this penny, and why this little coin could be worth thousands of dollars. Let's start with a bit of background. The 1966 Lincoln penny was minted during an important period in American history. It was just a year before the U.S. officially began transitioning to clad coins, which replaced the previously solid copper composition. The 1966 penny was made of 95% copper, just like the earlier pennies, and it was still part of the classic penny design featuring Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, on the obverse. The reverse displays the iconic Lincoln Memorial, which has been a staple of the penny's design since 1959. At first glance, the 1966 penny seems like any other regular penny, but upon closer inspection, it's a different story. Now, let's talk about some of the key features that could make this particular coin so valuable to collectors. The first thing to note is the overall design. As mentioned, the obverse features Abraham Lincoln's profile, with the word Liberty to the left, the year 1966 to the right, and the motto, "In God We Trust," running along the top. Below Lincoln's portrait, you'll find the mint mark, which is critical when identifying the coin's origin. Most 1966 pennies were minted in Philadelphia, but some may have been minted in Denver, with a D mint mark, and those can be more desirable, depending on their rarity and condition. The reverse side of the coin, where the Lincoln Memorial is depicted, shows some of the most significant details. There is a United States of America inscription above the memorial, with De Pluribus Unum to the right. The most interesting feature on this side is the 1 cent designation at the bottom, signifying the coin's value. Now, here's where it gets really interesting for collectors. Let's talk about the errors and features to look out for on the 1966 penny that could make it worth thousands of dollars. The 1966 penny, like many other coins, was subject to various minting errors. One of the most significant errors to watch out for is a double die, where the design appears to be duplicated or shifted slightly. This type of error occurs during the minting process when the die strikes the coin multiple times, causing a noticeable shift in the design. A double die penny can be worth significantly more than a regular 1966 penny, sometimes fetching prices that can make collectors jump with excitement. Another error to look for is a misstrike, where the penny may have been stamped unevenly or with excess pressure. This could cause parts of the coin's design to appear distorted or even missing. These types of errors are rarer and can make your 1966 penny much more valuable to the right buyer. Some coins have also been found with strange die cracks or unusual patterns, which make them even more unique. In addition to minting errors, condition plays a massive role in determining the value of a 1966 Lincoln penny. Coins that are in exceptional condition, meaning they've barely been circulated and show little to no signs of wear, are far more valuable than those that are heavily worn or damaged. For instance, if you happen to come across a 1966 penny with a sharp, clean design, minimal wear on the Lincoln Memorial or Lincoln's portrait, you could have a rare and valuable find on your hands. So, how do you spot a 1966 penny with high value? Start by closely examining the coin's details. Look for any noticeable doubling in the design, especially on the date or inscriptions. A magnifying glass or a jeweler's loupe is extremely helpful in spotting fine details, like die errors or slight imperfections. Pay special attention to the sharpness of the coin's edges and the clarity of the features, especially the Lincoln Memorial. Coins in mint or near mint condition are the ones you want to focus on, as they will hold the most value in the market. Now, why exactly is the 1966 Lincoln penny so valuable? It's because of its rarity and the high demand among collectors. While these coins were widely circulated, those that remain in excellent condition, especially with minting errors, are rare. Coins from this era, particularly those with errors or unique features, are highly sought after by collectors. The demand for coins with interesting history or distinct characteristics always keeps their value high. Additionally, the 1966 penny holds historical significance as it represents a transitional time in U.S. coinage history when the nation was moving toward clad coins, making it a valuable piece for collectors of U.S. numismatic history. Now, let's get to the exciting part. If you have a 1966 Lincoln penny in exceptional condition, or even better, one with a minting error, it could be worth anywhere from $3,000 to $33,000. Yes, you heard that right, anywhere from $3,000 to $33,000. That's a staggering amount of money for such a small coin. These rare finds have been known to attract attention from serious collectors and dealers, willing to pay top dollar for the right piece. So, next time you're digging through your old coin collection, keep an eye out for a 1966 penny. It might just make you a very happy collector. Before we wrap up, we want to hear from you. Have you ever come across a rare or valuable coin? Maybe a 1966 penny or something even older? Today, we're diving into the world of one of the most iconic coins in American numismatics, the 1957 Lincoln penny. You may have come across this coin in your pocket change, but did you know that the 1957 Lincoln penny could be worth a lot more than its face value? This little copper coin holds a fascinating story and, for those in the know, it could be worth thousands of dollars. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be armed with the knowledge to spot this valuable penny in your own collection or even your spare change. Let's start with a little history. The 1957 Lincoln penny was minted during a pivotal time in American history, just a few years after World War II had ended and the country was transitioning into the post-war boom. The penny features the well-known design of Abraham Lincoln, who has graced the obverse of the coin since 1909. But what sets the 1957 Lincoln penny apart from the others? Let's take a closer look at its key features. The obverse side of the 1957 penny displays a striking portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, designed by Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's face is clear and detailed, and the coin includes the inscriptions "Liberty" to the left, the year 1957 to the right, and the motto "In God We Trust" running along the top. Below Lincoln's portrait, you'll find the mint mark, which is crucial to identifying where the coin was minted. Most 1957 pennies were produced at the Philadelphia Mint, so you'll typically see no mint mark. However, some pennies were also minted in Denver, and these will carry a D mint mark. The mint mark can influence a penny's value, as coins from certain mints are more sought after. Now, flipping the coin over to the reverse, we see the classic design featuring the Lincoln Memorial. This design was introduced in 1959, making the 1957 penny one of the last to feature the wheat stalks on the reverse, a design that had been in place since 1909. The words "United States of America" are inscribed at the top, with "E Pluribus Unum" beneath the Lincoln Memorial. The coin also carries the denomination 1 cent below the memorial. The wheat design is often associated with earlier, more collectible pennies, and it adds a nostalgic touch to the 1957 coin. So, what makes the 1957 Lincoln penny so valuable? Like many coins, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its value. While most 1957 pennies were produced in high numbers and circulated widely, those in pristine or near-perfect condition are much rarer and more valuable. A coin that has barely been touched, showing minimal wear or discoloration, is considered to be in mint state or uncirculated condition, which makes it highly desirable to collectors, but there's more to it than just condition. One of the biggest factors that can skyrocket the value of a 1957 Lincoln penny is the presence of errors, specifically, minting errors that occurred during the coin's production. These errors are incredibly rare, and collectors will pay top dollar for them. One of the most sought-after errors for the 1957 penny is the double die error. This occurs when the die used to stamp the design onto the coin strikes multiple times, causing certain features of the design to appear doubled. The most noticeable area for doubling on the 1957 penny is the word Liberty or the date, 1957, itself. If you spot a coin with a doubled design, you've got a potential treasure on your hands. Another error to look out for is the off-center strike, where the coin is not properly aligned during the minting process, resulting in part of the design being cut off or misaligned. Off-center strikes are unique and can make your 1957 penny a one-of-a-kind piece, and such errors can command a higher price at auction. Die cracks are another interesting error you should watch for. These cracks appear in the die used to strike the coins and can cause raised lines or marks on the coin's surface. Die cracks on the Lincoln Memorial design, in particular, are relatively common on some 1957 pennies, and while they're not always worth a fortune, they do make the coin more interesting and can add value. Now that you know what errors to look for, how do you spot a 1957 penny that might be worth more than its face value? First, inspect the condition of the coin. Use a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe to get a closer look at the details. Pay particular attention to the sharpness of the features, especially on the Lincoln Memorial and the date. A coin with deep, clear features, free from excessive wear, is likely to be more valuable than one with significant scratches or discoloration. Next, look for any signs of a double die error. This is easiest to spot on the date and the word Liberty. If you notice a noticeable doubling effect, where the letters or numbers appear to be shifted or duplicated, then you may have an error coin worth far more than a typical 1957 penny. Check the edges of the coin for any other signs of minting issues, like off-center strikes or die cracks, which can make your penny even more valuable. So, why is the 1957 Lincoln penny so valuable in the eyes of collectors? It's because it represents a key piece of American history, and there's a limited supply of high-quality, error-free or error-prone examples left in circulation. The 1957 penny is one of the last to feature the wheat design, making it a nostalgic favorite for collectors. Additionally, mint errors and coins in exceptional condition are rare, which increases their demand and, in turn, their value. And now, for the big reveal. If you happen to have a 1957 Lincoln penny in excellent, uncirculated condition, or even better, one with a minting error such as a doubled die or off-center strike, your coin could be worth anywhere from $3,000 to $36,000. Yes, that's right, your humble penny could be worth up to $36,000. These error coins and high-quality examples are highly coveted by serious collectors, and they've been known to sell for incredible amounts at auctions and through private sales. Before we end this video, we'd love to hear from you. Have you ever found a rare or valuable penny in your collection or in your change? Perhaps a 1957 Lincoln penny or one with an error? Drop a comment below and share your coin hunting stories with us. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of the 1967 Lincoln penny. At first glance, this coin might seem like just another piece of pocket change, but in reality, the 1967 Lincoln penny has captivated collectors and numismatists for decades. In this video, we'll explore its key features, what makes it valuable, and how you can spot a rare and potentially highly valuable version of this coin. Stick with us until the end, because you'll want to know how much this unassuming penny could be worth today. Let's start with some background. The 1967 Lincoln penny was minted during a transitional time in U.S. coinage. While the penny had already undergone design changes in previous decades, it was still made with 95% copper during this period, making it a particularly interesting coin for collectors. The 1967 penny was produced during the era of President Lyndon B. Johnson, and the country was just 2 years away from entering a major economic shift. What makes the 1967 penny stand out, aside from its age, is its design and the era in which it was produced. The obverse side of the coin features the famous profile of President Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, who's been on the penny since 1909. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the image of Lincoln on the 1967 penny is sharp and clear. Around the image, you'll see the inscription Liberty to the left, the year 1967 to the right, and the motto, In God We Trust, at the top of the coin. Below Lincoln's portrait, you'll also find the mint mark, which can tell you where the coin was struck. For the 1967 penny, most were minted at the Philadelphia Mint, but you may also find those with a D mint mark, which indicates they were minted in Denver. Now, flipping the coin to the reverse, you'll see the iconic design of the Lincoln Memorial, which has been on the back of the penny since 1959. The Lincoln Memorial is a symbol of American history and a testament to the significance of Abraham Lincoln's legacy. The reverse side also includes the phrase United States of America at the top, E pluribus unum beneath the memorial, and the denomination of 1 cent at the bottom. But here's where things get interesting. Let's talk about the errors and features that can make the 1967 Lincoln penny truly valuable. While the coin was mass-produced, some unique factors and rare errors can significantly boost its worth. First, let's talk about minting errors. One of the most common errors seen in coins from this era is the double die. A double die error occurs when the die that stamps the design onto the coin strikes multiple times, leading to a doubled or shifted design. On the 1967 penny, the most common places for doubling are on the date, 1967, and the word Liberty. If you spot a penny with these characteristics, it's a big win for collectors, as these double die coins are far rarer than regular minting runs. Another error to look for is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't properly aligned when it's struck by the press, causing part of the design to be cut off or misaligned. While off-center strikes aren't incredibly common, they are highly sought after by collectors who appreciate the uniqueness of these misprints. These coins are considered error pieces, and can increase in value due to their rarity. Along with these, die cracks are another feature to keep an eye out for. These cracks occur in the dies used to mint the coins, and they can create raised lines or additional markings on the coin's surface. Die cracks are not as rare as double die errors but can still make a 1967 penny more valuable, particularly if they affect the Lincoln Memorial or other key areas of the design. Another factor that can dramatically increase the value of your 1967 penny is its condition. A coin in mint condition, or uncirculated state, will have sharp features, no visible signs of wear, and a bright, even color. The better the condition, the more valuable the penny will be. If you happen to find a 1967 penny that looks almost as fresh as the day it was minted, you've likely found a gem that could command a higher price. So, what makes the 1967 Lincoln penny so valuable? It all comes down to rarity and condition. While millions of these pennies were minted, the ones that stand out due to minting errors or near-perfect condition are the ones that collectors want the most. Coins with interesting history, such as the 1967 penny, are always in demand, especially those that represent a unique error or flaw in the minting process. As with any coin, the older it gets, the more it becomes a piece of history, which can increase its desirability among collectors. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for. How much could a 1967 Lincoln penny be worth? If you have an uncirculated penny, one that is still in near mint condition, or, better yet, if you found a penny with a double die or off-center strike error, your coin could be worth anywhere from $3,000 to $34,000. That's right, a simple penny from 1967 could fetch up to $34,000, depending on its rarity and condition. So, the next time you come across a 1967 penny, take a closer look before you toss it in your change jar. You might have a hidden treasure on your hands. Before we wrap up, we'd love to hear from you. Have you ever found a rare coin in your collection or even in your pocket change? Maybe you've stumbled upon a 1967 penny with a minting error? Let us know in the comments below. Today, we're going to uncover the secrets of a coin that might just be hiding in your pocket change, the 1970 Lincoln penny. If you're a collector or just someone who enjoys a good treasure hunt, this video is for you. What might seem like a regular, run-of-the-mill penny could actually be worth much more than its face value. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to spot a valuable 1970 Lincoln penny, and how much you could stand to make from it. Stick around, you won't want to miss the final reveal. Let's kick things off with a little history lesson. The 1970 Lincoln penny was produced during an interesting period in American history. The U.S. was in the midst of social and political changes, and the coin reflects an era where the country was still riding the economic wave following the post-World War II boom. The 1970 penny is made of 95% copper and 5% zinc, just like the earlier Lincoln pennies. This makes it distinct from the copper-plated steel pennies that were produced in 1943, and it also means that this penny is a great example of the classic copper-based coinage that many collectors prize. Now, let's dive into the design and key features of the 1970 Lincoln penny. On the obverse, or front, side, we have the iconic image of President Abraham Lincoln, created by sculptor Victor David Brenner. Lincoln's face is captured in detail, showing his strong profile, and the words, "Liberty" and "In God We Trust," are inscribed around the edge. On the right side, you'll see the date, 1970, which is important for determining the coin's era. The reverse side of the penny is where things get particularly interesting. The 1970 penny still features the familiar design of the Lincoln Memorial, which was introduced in 1959. The memorial symbolizes one of the most important figures in American history, and the design on the back of the penny has become iconic in its own right. Surrounding the memorial, you'll find the inscription, United States of America, and the phrase, E pluribus unum, beneath it. The denomination, 1 cent, appears at the bottom of the coin, but here's where it gets really interesting. Although most of these pennies were minted in high quantities, certain versions of the 1970 penny are considered extremely valuable. So, let's talk about the errors and key characteristics that could boost the value of your 1970 Lincoln penny and turn it from a humble coin into a treasure point. One of the most valuable variations of the 1970 penny is the 1970s Lincoln penny. Now, you might be wondering, what's the difference? Well, the 1970s penny, minted in San Francisco, is much rarer than its Philadelphia counterparts. In fact, this coin is one of the most sought-after varieties of the 1970 penny, and it's particularly valuable if it's in uncirculated condition. This means that the penny hasn't been worn down by years of circulation and still looks sharp with clear, crisp features. Another important factor to consider is minting errors. Minting errors can occur during the production process and result in variations that make certain coins unique, and potentially valuable. One of the most notable minting errors to look for on the 1970 penny is the double die error. This occurs when the coin die strikes the blank planchet, the metal disc, multiple times, creating a doubled design. This is most noticeable on the date, where you can see the numbers, 1970, appear doubled or shifted. This is especially valuable if the doubling is visible not only on the date but also on other parts of the coin, like the lettering on the obverse side. Additionally, off-center strikes are another error to watch for. An off-center strike happens when the blank planchet is not properly aligned during the minting process, resulting in part of the coin's design being cut off or misaligned. While these errors aren't incredibly common, they can make a coin much more desirable to collectors, especially if the error is prominent and easily identifiable. Another error to be aware of is the die crack. This occurs when cracks form in the die that strikes the coin, leaving marks or lines on the coin's surface. Die cracks on the Lincoln Memorial design can be especially interesting to collectors and can increase a coin's value, particularly if the crack is noticeable and affects the design in a unique way. Now that we know what errors to look for, let's talk about why the 1970 Lincoln penny is so valuable. While the 1970 penny may seem common at first glance, it's the combination of rarity, minting errors, and condition that makes it stand out. The 1970s penny, particularly in uncirculated or near-mint condition, is in high demand among collectors. And when it comes to error coins, the rarer the error, the higher the price it can command. The 1970 penny is also valuable because of its age and the fact that it was minted during a time when the design of the Lincoln Memorial was still fresh and new. As with all coins, the older they get, the more they represent a snapshot in history, and the 1970 penny is no exception. It represents an important time in the U.S. economy and holds a place in the long history of American coinage. So, how much could a 1970 Lincoln penny be worth? If you have a 1970 penny in uncirculated condition, or better yet, one with a minting error like a double die or off-center strike, you could be looking at a coin worth anywhere from $3,000 to $30,000. That's right. This seemingly ordinary penny could be worth thousands of dollars, depending on its rarity and condition. Before we end this video, we want to hear from you. Have you ever found a rare 1970 penny, or maybe even one with an error? Today, we're going to dive into a fascinating coin that could be hiding in your change jar, the 1971 Lincoln penny. At first glance, this coin might seem like just another penny, but if you take a closer look, you could be sitting on a hidden gem. If you're wondering how a simple penny from 1971 could be worth more than its face value, you're in the right place. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for in the 1971 penny and how much it could be worth. Let's kick things off by understanding the historical context behind the 1971 Lincoln penny. The United States was in the midst of significant economic shifts during this period. In 1971, the U.S. was still in the post-Vietnam era, and many people were dealing with inflation and economic instability. This penny was minted during a time of transition for American coinage, and while the design of the Lincoln penny itself remained unchanged, the materials used to produce it were beginning to see shifts that would later play a bigger role in the penny's history. The 1971 penny is still made from a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc. And it's easy to spot by looking at the key features on both sides of the coin. On the obverse side, the front, the famous portrait of President Abraham Lincoln is featured. This design, created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, has been on the penny since 1909, and it's become one of the most iconic and recognizable designs in U.S. coinage history. Around Lincoln's bust, you'll find the inscription "Liberty" to the left, "In God We Trust" above his head, and the year 1971 to the right. Moving to the reverse side of the 1971 penny, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, which has been featured on the back of the penny since 1959. The memorial is a symbol of American history and Lincoln's legacy. Surrounding the memorial, you'll find the words "United States of America," and the phrase "E pluribus unum" is inscribed beneath it. The denomination 1 cent appears at the bottom of the coin. Now that we've covered the basics of the 1971 Lincoln penny, let's talk about what makes this coin truly valuable, and what errors to look out for. While millions of these pennies were minted, a select few are highly sought after by collectors for their rarity, unique features, or minting errors. One of the key errors that collectors are on the lookout for with the 1971 penny is the double die error. This happens when the coin die is struck multiple times, which results in a doubled design on the coin. For the 1971 penny, the most noticeable doubling usually appears on the date, 1971, and the word "Liberty." If you find a penny with a doubled 1971 or Liberty, you might have found a real treasure. These double die pennies are much rarer than standard 1971 coins, and they are highly valuable in the numismatic world. Another error that can make a 1971 penny more valuable is the off-center strike. This happens when the blank planchet, or the metal disc used to make the coin, is misaligned during the minting process. The result is a coin with part of its design cut off or misaligned. While off-center strikes aren't as common as some other errors, they are prized by collectors who love unique, one-of-a-kind pieces. If you happen to find a 1971 penny with an off-center strike, it could be worth a significant amount of money. Aside from these minting errors, the condition of the coin plays a huge role in its value. Like most coins, the better the condition of the penny, the higher its value. A 1971 penny in uncirculated condition, meaning it shows no signs of wear and retains all of its original sharp details, can fetch a much higher price than one that's been heavily circulated. Coins that are well preserved and look almost as fresh as the day they were minted are always in high demand by collectors. So, why is the 1971 Lincoln penny valuable? It all comes down to rarity, condition, and errors. While the penny itself may seem common, certain versions are anything but ordinary. The 1971 penny, minted in San Francisco, is one of the rarer varieties of this coin, and if you find one in near-mint condition, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Moreover, if you happen to come across a coin with a double die error or off-center strike, the value could skyrocket. Now, for the moment you've all been waiting for, how much could your 1971 Lincoln penny be worth? If you have a high-grade 1971 penny or a double die error, your coin could be worth anywhere from $3,000 to $32,000. Yes, you heard that right. That humble penny in your collection could be worth thousands, depending on its rarity, condition, and any errors it might have. So, next time you're digging through your change jar or browsing through your coin collection, make sure to check out those 1971 pennies closely. You might just have a treasure in the making. Before we wrap up, we'd love to hear from you. Have you ever found a rare 1971 penny, or maybe even a coin with a minting error? Let us know in the comments below.